here to put the best in each of our residents. And it's like a holistic approach, but person-centered.
We make a difference, we bring joy, and we add spark.
It's about advocating for others. It's such a privilege and an honor.
What you can do for them, being able to communicate. It's about making sure that people feel valued.
Creating meaningful connections and enhancing quality of life.
Our magic lies in connecting with others and letting them know they're never too late.
We are called to understand.
We spread aroha, we spread love.
We see the best in people.
We make dreams happen.
We are the ambassadors of passion and purpose.
We are hard workers.
We are meaning makers.
Good evening once again, everyone, and how are you all doing on this beautiful Wednesday evening for Aotearoa, New Zealand? As many would say it, happy hump day. We're almost halfway there to another great week, another victorious week, I hope, for everyone. And welcome, now my Hairamai, to another session of great conversation and our topic and discussion about recreational therapy. Well, anything under the sun about recreational therapy. So, namahai mai everyone. No matter where you are joining us from, New Zealand or all over the world, and whether you're watching this as a recording or watching it live, welcome, and we just wish you well, and we hope that you are awesome on your side of the screen. Tonight, I am joined by the amazing Christine, our executive secretary. Christine, how is everything on your side of the screen, and how was your day?
Oh, good. We've had a really nice trip out to the beach this morning and in this afternoon, making the most of the weather because we never know when it's going to change. So, yeah, everything's going well. Yeah.
Amazing. And we could not say that 4 weeks ago, going to the beach and taking our residents to the beach, and now it's very exciting that we can finally, do these things, and we can finally be able to, see and explore summer activities or outdoor activities again, and that's really, really wonderful. So, good evening, everyone. And I was also telling Christine that usually, when we are doing our Korero live sessions, it's already dark, and now the sun is still up, and it's a wonderful reminder that seasons change, but that we always, bring our upbeat sunshine as we go. So please, if you're joining us live tonight, drop in a comment in the comment section so that we can give you a shout out, and it's like we're just having a Korero, a conversation and a discussion in the living room. So good evening to the mighty fine Nika Manuera. Hi, how are you there, Nika? And you have been working so super amazing in the board. So thank you very much, and shout out to you and hat tip to you. Mark Lawrence Cheng giving a shout out to his best DRT buddies, Edgardo Cabamongan, aka the King Jr., and Kent Barcinilia, who is I think enjoying his final days of vacation. So how are you guys? Stay well and stay relevant. We have Devika Raichand Bula Vinaka from West Auckland. Hi there, Devika, and we are so happy that you can join us tonight for another session of very interesting conversation. Tonight's Korero is one that came up strongly at our last conference, and it keeps coming up in training and audits everywhere we go. And are we, when the question, are we really assessing what matters most?
Yes.
So too often in diversional recreational therapy, we fall into the trap of counting attendance, counting the bodies as the main success measure of our program. But as we'll unpack tonight, the number doesn't always mean what we think it means. So we will also reflect on a great conversation that we had this week, and hat tip to our family and friends there at Canada the Echo Box technology. We had a really good session with that earlier this week. And it's a reminder that when we open ourselves to new tools and fresh thinking, our basket, our kete of our practice becomes just richer and richer. Don't you agree, Christine?
Absolutely right. Absolutely agree with that. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Tenakoto Katoa. So this topic that we're gonna have tonight really, really resonates with me because I've seen it firsthand, I've experienced it firsthand, and not everyone understands really what we're trying to do. So sometimes we do run activities, right? We run activities as per usual. Most of the residents are present. They're all there. On
Mm,
paper, yep, we take it. High attendance, everyone's there. When
yeah.
when you really look around the room, something doesn't really feel right or doesn't sit right. Some of our residents are checked out. They're not even smiling, they're just there like looking blah. They're not talking, they're not engaging. So that tells us something really important. Being present isn't the same thing as being involved.
Mm,
A lot of our viewers will agree to this. So the question we're going to ask tonight is, are we counting heads? Are we counting the number of participants, or are we counting hearts? What do you think,
wow. That
PJ?
is just powerful. And if you have your thoughts and if you have your opinions and if you have your comments, please drop them down and we will really try to endeavor to respond or give your comments an airtime as well because they are really important because we are the
Yes.
ones on the floor and I could not agree and tautoko to what Christine had said. That is just powerful. Are we counting heads? Or are we counting hearts? Because and which one is important? Um, uh, because too often management would always quantify and would always see success of the program with counting the actual bodies that we are serving and we are that attends our program, and that's I think really one of the barriers, those compliance and those standards that we have to go through or hurdle. But as we can obviously, clearly say now, with all the awareness and all the knowledge and all the trainings that we have now, that is an old model. That is an old-fashioned way of evaluating and assessing, our program. So let's talk about that first. Let's talk about the old way of measuring success and measuring our standards.
Mm-hmm.
So if 80 to 90% of our residents attend an activity, it must be successful, right?
Right.
Perfect attendance, right? Very high attendance. But if we reflect personally, like myself, I am one of the most extroverted person that I know. I like to go. I like to be around with people. I like to socialize, and it fuels me. But even me, as a very extroverted person, I don't want to go to a group session 5 days a week. I don't
No.
want to, be surrounded by people all all my days of the week. I still want days that I'm on my
Yeah,
own.
that's
I
right.
don't,
Yeah.
I,
Mm. I
absolutely.
agree.
How
I
about
agree.
you?
Hey. Yeah, I feel the same. I'm a very extroverted person as well, just like you. But if I feel like staying in my own room for the day because I really don't want to do anything, and for me, that's I want to rest. That's an activity. Rest is an activity, and then
Absolutely.
it should still count as a meaningful activity. Whether uh, instead of thinking about it
Of
as
course.
participating in a large group, that is the activity. But no, having a space on your own, having your preferred time on your own, that's your choice. Remember, we need to offer choices. If it's their choice not to join in, that's fine. We check on them later on and maybe invite them later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that high attendance doesn't necessarily mean that a program is very successful. It might just mean people are being rushed to attend a group session. It might just mean that people are being forced against their preference and against their own will to attend these sessions, and that is alarming if you really think about about that model. That it's really old fashioned. So
Yeah.
if I was at every single group activity, you know that something is off, even if I am the most extroverted person that I know.
Exactly, exactly. Because high attendance doesn't mean high satisfaction. Are they really satisfied with,
Mm.
joining others? Sometimes it's about compliance, not a choice. Yeah. So we've seen facilities where numbers looked great, but residents really weren't really there, quote unquote. So they were just sort of filling the chairs. Um, and that's not therapeutic recreation, am I right, AJ? That's just
I
noise.
can That I can super agree with you that. I love what you said, Christine. They're not really there. They're just filling chairs, and that's sad. And
Yeah.
that's a tragedy for me. Renafe Picayo even said agrees with you, Christine, that
Yeah.
rest is an activity. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think now we should start to shift our measuring engagement. We should now really think of how to measure engagement quality in a way that it really captures the quality. What do you think, Christine?
I think we do really need a shift. That's why we need to voice this to everyone, to all the world.
Mm,
From quantity, from just the numbers, to quality. And that's what's most important, quality. From attendance to authentic engagement. Something meaningful, really meaningful, not just because, oh, here, yep, she's here, yep,
yep.
tick list. It's just a tick. It's not. It shouldn't be like that. So we should actually ask ourselves. Let's ask our viewers. Did you should? They should ask. Did the residents smile? Did they
Mm,
share a story? Did they look like themselves? Just like what you've said earlier. Did they look like
mm,
themselves during the activity? And did they feel seen? Did they feel heard and safe? Yeah.
absolutely. Right. That's an amazing, shift. Those simple questions can mean the world, can mean the difference. Did the residents smile? And I remember, Christine, some of
Mm,
the diversional recreational therapists in my team that I support in some of the facilities that I support, they would always, sometimes they would tend to say that, when I ask them to measure more than attendance, don't
yeah.
just write down in your documentation or in your evaluation how many attended. Really write down who
What's
attended, who
mm,
enjoyed it the most, who did not like it, write it
yeah.
down. What was the reaction? And sometimes they would say that no reactions. I would see that on documents a lot. No reactions, no comments, no nothing, none noted, something like that. And although perhaps I associate it with some staff just being cheeky and just don't want to put the extra effort to write down a very quality
Yes.
documentation. Some also may not be really trained, may not really understand
Yes.
what are the responses that we're looking at, because
Yes.
when you ask these simple questions that you just asked, Christine, did the resident smile? That is a response, and that is a very
Yes.
powerful response that would tell you a lot of things. Did the resident tear up? Did the resident There was one to one
Mm,
resident, and I would often jokingly say this to my team, that, oh, no response, are they dead? Because only dead people will have no response at all.
yes.
If you're alive, there will be some reaction that you just have to open your eyes, and you
That's
just
right.
have to be careful on seeing that. So there's this one resident that is bedridden. He is no longer verbal, and he is no longer
Mm,
really active.
mhm.
And then during one-on-one session, one diversional recreational therapist documented what she did. So she said, I did sensorial therapy, put on the music, put on a candle with a scent, so that's aromatherapy, and then did touch therapy. So she gently stroked the hand, and the resident teared up and then lift his thumb up, and that is coming
Yes,
from a resident
non-verbal.
who, if you look at the notes, yeah, would just say no reaction, no response, just lying down in
No,
bed. And then when you document it like that, that is a powerful, statement saying that that's a response that he indeed was engaged in that activity. And that's those very simple detail would mean the world, would mean the difference in
yes,
our assessment.
I agree. We cannot
Yeah.
say
I
no
also remember
response.
in
We cannot
yeah,
say
go
no
for it. Go
response.
for it, Christine.
Yeah, we can say resident so and so appears to have enjoyed joining this activity, as as evidenced by her cheerful disposition during the but not like
Absolutely.
no,
Yeah, even just a
not
smile.
response. There will
Mm.
be a response. There
Yeah,
will be something. Yeah.
if you just open your eyes. Hey,
Yeah.
I remember in one training, a facility changed from tracking attendance to tracking meaningful moments. The numbers dropped at first, but
Mm.
family satisfaction went up. So staff
Mm.
reported deeper connection when they focus on not tracking the attendance, but really looking at these meaningful engagement. And again, these residents started to come alive because their presence were being honored and not
Mm.
just a tick box event. And I think it really boils down to that. Really boils down to how we are actually doing the things and the why behind doing the things. Yeah.
Exactly. So, which leads us to my next question. What can we do? So what do we do as diversion and
Mm,
recreation therapists? First of all, we need to assess preferences regularly, not just yearly. We go visit them every day to invite them, to inform them, and to encourage them to come out of to come out, or to just let them know that this program is happening during the day. We need to assess it regularly. What are their
mm.
preferences? Maybe it has changed. Maybe after 6 months, oh, I don't want
Absolutely.
to do this anymore. I want to do a new thing. I want to learn a new thing, a new hobby
Mm,
or something like that. Second thing is we need to recognize introverts, and I've experienced that as well. We've got people who will look after that. They really want to just stay in their own bedroom, but one session a week might be their perfect fit. Maybe just keep on encouraging them, keep on visiting them in their rooms, and yeah, let's do a one-on-one invite, or maybe we can invite some of our some of our residents, maybe not a lot, but to visit her or him in their bedrooms or wherever they want to
absolutely. Yeah.
stay.
And that social connection at its finest,
Yeah.
not just word of mouth or a lip service social
Yeah.
connection, but actually really living it. That
Yeah.
is just beautiful. I love your point, Christine, when you said
Yeah.
preferences can change. That's why we
Mm.
should assess it regularly and not just once a year or 6 monthly because of interi requirements or because of our audit requirements, but actually practicing. I love this new word that I learned recently. So it's impermanence. So the thought or
Impermanent.
the idea that there is nothing permanent in this world, even us, even our lives. So I love this example last time that was being brought up when we learn about the residents or the client's history, but we
Yes.
have to remember of impermanence, which means that it doesn't mean that that's who he was before. That's who he will be for the rest of his life. So we had this resident that is a horse jockey, right? So he likes riding horse. So all of the caregivers and all of the recreational therapists were printing horses, talking about horses and stuff like that, but they did
Mm.
not actually even ask the person if he still likes horse or horses, right? Because they just read that he was a horse jockey, so automatically he likes horse, so everybody was making horse sounds and everybody was printing horse pictures and stuff like that, right? But when one recreational therapist took time to actually have a conversation with him, he actually said that he hates horses now because what happened was his horse business or his horse, that life crumbled, and had a traumatic experience. And horses actually
Right.
triggers him now. And
Mm.
can you imagine everybody making horse sounds when he sees him? Because in his document, it just says that he's a horse jockey, so be a horse, and you will engage
Oh
him.
no.
How
Oh,
interesting, right?
that's terrible. That's a very good
Yeah,
example, but a very horrible experience. So I guess
absolutely. Yeah,
it's of course it's a team effort. It's not just us in the therapeutic recreation department, but it's
mm,
the whole facility. It's the whole
absolutely.
maybe
And that's why,
one of our nurses or our front desk, you know, if they get to like spend, let's say, 5 minutes because they came walking by the hallway and noticed this person, that 5 minutes engagement or less even can can help us gather more information about the new things or the old things
absolutely.
the person would like. And of course we need to document the engagement, not just the we need to document the engagement of the person, not just
Absolutely.
presence. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So as we continue our discussion, we would like to say hi to all our listeners that are joining us live today. I mean, tonight. We have Lucy Dew live on live. Hi, all. Hi, Lucy. We have Celeste Kahiwat. Hi, Celeste, wherever you are. And we also have Sanjana Rohit from Stratford, Taranaki. How is our maunga right there, Sanjana? Great to join us. Great for you to join us tonight. And Nika says, great example. Gotta stay up to date with our clients. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Nika. So let's continue with a reminder that one meaningful connection where someone feels truly seen is worth more than five activities they attended out of boredom. Even just one activity is better than 500 ones that are just there because they are just filling seats. We also need to be brave in explaining this to our auditors and our managers that yes, our attendance might be lower, but our well-being outcomes are higher. And this is where, the discussion that we had in our Echo Box session also explored recent, innovations that can help us really reflect prompts of where we can assess our residents properly. So, storytelling elements, voice recordings, pictures, which let us capture the invisible parts of our connection. Right. So before I hand it over to you, Christine, when we discuss our next point, let's say hi to Fiona. Hi, Fiona. How are you there? I hope you are well today and preparing your dinner now. Same as Rachel Manuta from Tawa. The horse example was great. Yeah, it was a good example, right? But a bad experience for the resident. And I could just if I was one of those people that are making horror sounds, oh, I'm gonna put a sock in my mouth or a soap in my mouth for that too, because of embarrassment. But yeah, definitely a great learning for all of us that we need to really practice impermanence and remember to really check on our residents regularly because it changed.
True.
Nika
Yes.
says if we only count bodies, we may as well be embalmers. Yeah. Speaking from someone who has an embalming program. Yeah.
True. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
true.
So let's proceed with integration now, building a richer basket for our practice, Christine. So
Okay.
I'll start with the Echo Box meeting this week, which was really great. It was an opportunity for us to really, again, highlight that the more that we open our minds, the more that we continue to learn, the more that our basket will be filled. So we should continue to gather new tools, new understandings, a time to reflect and give thanks and cast our vision of the future for our profession and our for ourselves as well. So let's keep on building. And when we were so great with checking attendance before, let's not be embarrassed with that. But now that we are learning, let's continue to level up and strive for some more quality.
That's correct. Because, we are growing, as what you've said. And, of course, that future starts with how we assess. Let's build
Mm.
systems that reflect mana enhancing, person centered, culture honoring practices. So let's count what matters. What does it, what does, sorry, what really matters, isn't it? It's the laughter,
Mm.
it's the storytelling, it's the spark in someone's eyes when, even if they can't speak, uh they can hear us. It's like you can see it, we can actually observe that. So
Yeah.
let's count what matters, and that's how we know we are doing a really great job, and all the more that we will feel more fulfilled, isn't it? Mm.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the fulfillment that comes from knowing that it is not just a tick box activity that we are doing. It's actually a passion project or a work that changes lives and that are founded on love or aroha. Right. So I'd like to build on what you said, Christine, that we are continuously learning and we are continuously growing, and we should be continuously growing and learning together. So on that note, before we finally close our wonderful conversation again tonight with our final takeaways and reflection, let us visit and let us invite everyone once again to please visit our website, who is beautifully updated by our comms liaison Mika, who has been working so hard and so awesome at the background to set up our events page. So there's a lot of opportunities there this coming October, and November 1 is already being started to work on. So let us continue to celebrate that, and we let's continue to fill in our growth in our basket with opportunities there. So starting with this week is Mental Health Awareness Week, guys. So what are you doing for your mental health awareness, Christine?
One of my team members, she has put in a sort of a gratitude bingo for the staff members. It's,
Mm,
to uplift each other up, to uplift,
right.
self care, some sort of a self care.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah,
What are
activity.
you
That's amazing. I
doing?
mean, I have a lot of mental health activity at the moment because, as many of you guys know, well, not all of our viewers, I am in a season of transition actually right now with life and with my professional growth as well. So I really focus on mental health and focus on taking care of myself, self-care, because in seasons of transitions, that is really highlighted how you care for yourself and opportunities to really work on that. But I would like to hat tip also to what Mika has sent out today in the emails. If you are a member of the society, you should have received that email. Otherwise, if you haven't received an email, check your spam or check your email settings. Maybe your email settings. I mean, maybe your email is full and it's time to delete those spam box or trash box. Yeah, but Nika reminded us that if we are having a bad day at work, remind yourself that you are actually our work is actually one of the one of the happiest in the world, right? And we should highlight that strength-based analysis. We should highlight that we are giving out smiles and we are giving out joy instead of giving out bills, giving out redundancy letter, colostomy. Colonoscopy. So that's a great way to do that. But yes, the bottom line is let's take care of our mental health and let's really focus on ourselves. Nika said we have set up an anxiety tree for everyone to leave a concern and practice sharing worries. Ah, that's amazing. Because if we share each other's burdens, the burden is lighter. Karina Pence says yes, important to take care of the staff. Great idea with the bingo. So kapay for that, Christine. And we are doing a spa day. Wow, how I wish that everybody can experience that, Karina. Spa day for everyone. Oh, that's just amazing. That's just a dream come true. Kapay. So on that note, speaking of opportunities and professional growth, let's take this time already to start promoting our national conference next year, which we all know, if you haven't heard yet, will be in Ototahi, Christchurch in August 13, 14, and 15, 2026. So second week of August. Let me just pull out my calendar quickly for that. I don't want to be giving you guys fake news. Yes, 13, 14, 15 of August 2026. So, Christine, you've been in the board for more than a decade now, for almost 10 years now. And you've been attending conferences for a number of times already. Why is conference important for our professional growth?
First of all, it's the only one we have in New Zealand, the biggest one that we all gather as professionals working in this industry in our field. And then we get to network with fellow diversion and recreational therapists. We get to learn so many new things, that some practices that we do might have been obsolete now, like what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's a really good chance for us to share our ideas, learn new things, in network, and plus visit other places.
Absolutely, especially if you're out of Christchurch.
Mm.
Just like us. Yeah, but we
True.
all know that that's not going to be cheap, ladies and gentlemen, right? So, fun now, we know that times are hard right now. That's why one of the strategies of our executive board is to really market and advertise this event as early as we can, because we know that it's not cheap and not everybody can afford to do that. So we are giving everyone an opportunity to start saving. So last DRT week, we gave you a strategic plan how to save up for the upcoming conference. And in saying that as well, you should not be doing this alone. So I think this is a great opportunity to start, training yourself to talk to your managers and to talk to your leaders to fund you, and to, or if not fund the entirety of it, fund or contribute to this professional development of yours. Because as Christina said, this is an amazing way to grow together, an amazing way to network, to learn, to be updated, to keep our professional practice. Andrea Walker saying, yeah, I'm not missing out. And yeah, yes, you are. That awesome, Andrea. We'll see you in Christchurch next year. So, ladies and gentlemen, all great things must come to an end as well. And tonight's wonderful conversation about, the true assessment and true evaluation of how our program really is working, it must come to an end. So, let's get our final takeaways and final reflection. Let's start with Christine. So, I think mine is just very simple. Assess who your residents are, not just where they are, assess who they truly are, measure connection and not just compliance, not just a tick box event, but actually measure the heart, and be bold in shifting the system, even if it takes time, even if it takes longer effort, even if it takes, a harder. Be bold to explain it to your leaders, be bold to involve the team, the caregivers, receptionists, your nurses. Shift the system, because we are here for a reason and we should be doing it for the right reasons. How about you, Christine? What's your final reflections and takeaway?
Of course, we must not forget, everyone, that one quiet participant, one quiet resident deeply engaged once a week, even if it's just once a week, we might be doing better than the one we see or that you see every day sitting silently. So let's keep counting moments, okay? Not just bodies.
Wow, that's just powerful. So thank you very much everyone who has joined us live tonight, and those that have joined us via recording. Please share your thoughts and share your opinions as well on the comment section, and let's continue to discuss and talk about the important things that we do as recreational therapists. So ngami hinui for everyone joining us tonight. Christine, any final words for our DRTH joining us tonight or watching the recording?
Final words. Keep growing. Join us in every live Korero, so we can continue to learn more together.
Kapay. Yeah, and happy Mental Health Awareness Week to everyone. Take care of yourself. Make yourself as a priority. Thank you both for profound thoughts tonight, Kapay. Thank you so much, Nika, for those kind words. We'll see you again next time on the next Korero live session next week as we keep on expanding our boundaries together. Kia kaha, kia maya, kia mahanawanui. Thanks, everyone. Hi, Jessica.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good night, everyone. Happy Mental Health Awareness Week. Take care of yourself.